on YouTube.
Right, and I need to see if I might need to mute my YouTube. Hang on, we'll see what happens. Oh my God.
Working?
It's working. I think we're live.
On YouTube.
Right, and we're live.
I need to see if I need to
Right, let me just... Right. Have I sorted that?
Is that gone quiet?
Yes, gone quiet. We're here. We're live. Let me also... Is my video frozen? Oh no, it's all right. It's okay. We're here, right? We've got one watching. That's probably just us watching ourselves, isn't it?
Who knows?
This is my hashtag prick me up live YouTube stream, and I've got the fantastic Chris Bright with me. We're hoping that some people might actually watch this because at the moment it doesn't look like many are. How are you doing?
We're about to laugh anyway.
How are you doing, Chris? Are you doing all right?
Well, it's as I was saying to you earlier, obviously not on the camera. I've got an interesting current situation developing, obviously at my house, where I think my dad, has had the coronavirus. We think my mum might have had it as well, and I currently am living in half the house, segregated off, and I'm living in about 3 rooms, and I can't go outside the house.
Weird. And I've seen your room. You showed me
fun.
3 rooms before, and your 3 rooms, they're not like the most spacious of rooms, are they?
No, I showed you where I am. That's my 2 out of 3 of what you saw earlier was 2 out of 3 of where I am at the minute. So I've got my bedroom upstairs and our kitchen just about and the bathroom just about. And that's like when they've been cleaned.
Oh, wow.
It's not, it's a little bit like prison at the moment, but there's small mercies.
You will survive. You will survive. We all will.
I feel like you're going to break into song, Jade.
Yeah. Well, I could break into what my parody I wrote the other day. I don't know if I remember the lyrics though. You're gonna teach me how to do keepy uppies, aren't you? At some point.
Yeah. Are you in sporty attire?
Not smash anything in my living room. Look, I've got football.
Let's have a look.
It's only a size 3.
Wow, that'll do it.
But
that will do it.
It's a football, isn't it?
It is. It's a round football. How are you anyway, Jade? Before I go outside and find some space.
I'm doing all right, you know. I'm doing all right. Like I thought I was gonna already be going a little bit crazy, but I'm not. I feel okay with it all. I'm quite enjoying the connecting in different ways to normal with people and doing all the kind of... I told you to download House Party. Did you download it?
I haven't downloaded it yet, but I will be, because we're actually my friend's got... Oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not saying it. I can't say it in case he watches, but there's something going on in the background. But yeah, House Party I've been told about is... it's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be a bit of a laugh, which we can all do. I've actually found it
really good. It was... So my friend Sean, it was one of his best mates, Marcus's birthday yesterday, and I got invited into their house party and had a right laugh last night. It was really good. It actually felt like a house party. It worked well.
You just need to have fun, don't you? In a minute, it's really quite weird, but most people, I don't know if you felt the same, but everyone's trying to connect more. You know, when you go through your day-to-day life. Yes. And everybody just wanders around and carries on, and actually don't speak to people for a while. But now everybody's really wanting to hear from each other and trying to connect. I've actually spoke to my mates more in the last 2 or 3 days. Yeah, granted it's through a camera. Yeah. Than I have maybe for the previous 3 or 4 weeks. So it's, I think
everyone's just being genuinely nicer as well.
Yeah.
I think it's because we're all going through the same rubbish. Everyone's just being kinder. I like to think we've got 8 people watching. If you're watching, please send us some questions. I will attempt some keepy uppies with Chris's guidance, but please send us some questions in. We did get some prior to going live. We've got some. Should I maybe read one of the ones we've already got, Chris?
You can go. Yeah, go for it now, and then I'll go. Hopefully, I got the floodlight on in the back garden where I can do a couple of keepy uppies on this camera. You'll have to let me know the questions because I can't see them on my screen. They only come up on yours. Don't
worry. Right. Okay. Let's see. We got lots from Roddy Riddle, didn't we?
Yeah, Roddy was keen. He was keen to test your footballing knowledge, wasn't he?
He was very keen to test my footballing knowledge, and my footballing knowledge is pretty poor, to be honest. But I
bet you can't wait to see you answer these questions then, Jade.
I know. Well, I just literally can't answer most of them. I'm not going to lie. So where was right? Okay. Oh, hang on, I've got one from. We've got 2 from Matt Cox as well.
Yes.
Matt Cox wants to know, for me, do I think Liverpool will win the Premiership? I don't even that question. It's not happening anymore, is it?
Ooh, sore subject for any Liverpool fans. Well,
what's going to happen?
I don't know. I think what's going to happen in non-league football, they're talking about voiding the season. So the season never happened. From step 1 to 6 in non-league football, which is the conference all the way down, but I don't sure what they're going to do from the Premiership, Championship, the 2 big leagues. I have no idea. But yeah, Liverpool are about 6 points away from the title.
Well,
so they're fuming.
Well, I can understand that, but I'm from the northeast. I don't really care about Liverpool.
Have you ever been? What's your closest football club, Jade? Where you are? So you're Darlington, that's right?
Yeah, I'm Darlington. Premiership.
Well, what's the big teams? Is it Middlesbrough that way?
Well, that's the closest one to us, but Newcastle and Sunderland.
Yeah.
They're mind you, Sunderland. What? Who was Sunderland? What happened to Sunderland? Who are they now?
I hope there's someone from Sunderland on here.
I know loads of Sunderland supporters. It's okay. No, but really, actually, I think that's really sad that Sunderland have just disappeared. Why am I talking about football? Because I'm talking to you. Obviously, that's why I'm talking about football. I'm not knowledgeable enough to talk about football. But Matt wants to know how many keepy uppies you can do, Chris.
How many can I do? My record, and I stopped counting when I was about 15 or 16. So when I was about 16, I did 1,505. And the reason I remember I did 1,505, I wanted to set my record high.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I did it. And then my mum called me for dinner. So I actually could have carried on doing a few more, but I've stopped because it was for dinner. So I was about 16 when I did it. And at that point, I went, no point.
I can't do 5. I don't think I can do 3.
Well, we'll see if you can do a couple. I reckon we can get you to 2 by using your knees.
Roddy sent us a question. Hi, Roddy.
He's watching.
He sent some questions earlier on, but hopefully we haven't Googled the answers. I haven't actually, because
no.
It's more fun when I don't know what I'm talking about, I think.
Right, shall I go in the garden and get a ball?
I'll quickly get I'll quickly ask you one of Roddy's questions.
Go on,
when
then.
Scotland dominate world football, please tell me it'll be within the next 4 years.
Roddy, I can't promise it, mate. I really can't.
I don't think anyone can.
No, unfortunately. For you, Roddy, I'd want them to do well, but I can't see it, mate. I mean, they got some good players coming through. Big John McGinn from Villa. He's looking class. Obviously, he's out injured, but they're not going to dominate any tournament anytime soon, Roddy. I'm sorry, mate.
Oh, Roddy's
It's a
just asked
shame.
me. Roddy's just asked if I think his son will make it as a footballer.
Oh, there's a good one for you.
I think he will. Got the passion. You can do it. You can do it. You just got to stick at it. It's the same with anything. If you want it bad enough, it'll happen.
Yeah, it's all about belief. A lot of time, it's in your. Most of the time, you're fighting it in your head.
Did you see what I just did? I just went to have a drink out my water bottle and it hit me in the eye. Right, I'm gonna get on my feet.
Oh, right, let's head outside. In the bright.
Nick Hampton, hi Nick. Hope you're all right.
Let's go and see if I can find.
Going outside.
Yeah, heading outside.
I've got a tiny football. It's only a size 3. It's my daughter.
I'm hoping the light's going to come on.
It being smaller, or easier for me with it being smaller.
Oh! Look at that, the light's on.
Chris, will it make it harder for me with the football being smaller or easier?
Probably a bit harder.
Well, that's my excuse for not being able to do anything.
You're not allowed.
How do I start?
Hang on, let me get a light on.
There you are.
So
we've got some questions coming in as well. Be careful. Nick Carnes just said, be careful. Dawn says, hello, lovelies. Hello, Dawn. Hello.
It's in the dark, so it'll probably go on and off.
Right, we have got some questions. So let's have a quick go of doing some keepy uppies and then we're going to answer some questions, okay?
So what you want to do with your keepy uppies, I think for you to get as many as you can, start with your knees. Okay. So try that, double.
Oh, that's it.
Yes, see?
I got so excited then. Right.
You've got 2. So then from 2 on the knees, can you then incorporate a foot? So and get a kick in.
Knee, foot.
Yeah, knee, foot.
You can see me. Right, ready? Knee.
Yeah.
No, we're not. Hang on. Knee, foot. Oh!
I knew this was going to be funny, but that's class.
It might take me a while to get that back. It's behind the telly. Oh, Jesus. I got 3 though. Right, I'll try not to ruin. I'm just moving the whole TV stand.
Oh, it's class. Oh.
Right.
Can we get you to 4?
Can we try and get me to 4?
Can we get you to 4?
No.
So, I reckon for 4, can you do 2 knees, 2 on your feet, 1 on each foot?
You did just do that one I did on my foot, didn't you?
Yeah, but I think
that's a bit ambitious. 2 feet, right? Knee, foot.
You were so focused on the last touch, you just kicked it really hard. So if you take a softer touch, you might be able to reach it.
Okay. Oh! I wasn't made for football.
I told you. You just got it.
Oh my gosh, yes. 5. Hang on, let's answer some questions quickly because they are asking us stuff. So, Roddy was saying his son's really self-driven, does extra training off his own back. Good lad. Lad.
Go on.
It's just so, and he's also said if I've got a spare toilet roll, I should be doing the keepy uppies with that.
Yes. Get yourself on that TDFC toilet challenge.
Right, Starpad, how do you find football as a type 1 diabetic? I used to play nearly every day. When I play, my feet hurt way too much. Is 5-a-side more? Is 5v5? Is that like? I don't understand. Is that more forgiving?
So I play futsal indoor, which is 5-a-side.
Yeah.
I actually think it's better for people with diabetes because there's more breaks in it. Oh, we've gone down. There's more breaks in it, so I come rolling off. I roll on and then I roll off for substitution. So it means when I come off, I can check my glucose levels.
How long is a half?
20 minutes and a half, but it's stop clock. So it's like basketball. So every time the ball goes out of play, then the clock stops, and then obviously when the ball comes back into play.
Do you know what I did earlier? We put a basketball hoop up, and I knocked it down off the wall.
How did you manage that?
Well, we obviously it wasn't attached very well.
Clearly.
I'm beeping. It clearly wasn't attached very well. But yeah, I managed to just by hitting the hoop with the ball. By the way, can I just say, have you been doing live with someone else before me tonight?
Not tonight, no.
Oh, we thought you.
Today.
Sean, who I work with, said, I think Chris is doing a live at 7 o'clock. I was like, you better not be. I don't want to slot.
No, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm doing one with Khalid.
Who is it you're doing it with?
Khalid. He's a bodybuilder.
Yes, I know who you mean.
We met at conference, Sport T One Day conference. He came up a while ago. He used to be a professional footballer as well before he got a bad knee injury. So interesting conversation, I'm sure.
And you're doing that on what? On Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram live job.
Cool.
It's all fun, isn't it? So how many did you manage then? Are we counting that as 4 or 5? I did think 4. We could get you to
4. Nick Calm has suggested that I should take up chess. I think it's aimed at me, not you.
Oh, that's rough.
I think it might be after I volleyed the ball over the back of the television. Right, okay. Let's have some more questions, but let's see if I can get to 5. If I get to 5, then we do the next question.
Can you? I reckon 3 knees, 2 feet.
3 knees, 2 feet.
I reckon that's your best bet. 3 knees, 2 feet.
Okay, ready. Oh no. Oh, I'm such a girl. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, I can't believe I just said that.
No.
I'm angry with myself for saying that.
You can't say that, Jane.
No. Oh, I almost got my foot at me. Pay attention to me.
I'm paying attention. I'm here. Coach is here.
1, 2. Oh, I didn't count. 1. Oh, I can't do it.
So you got
1, 2. Oh, I just don't think I can do 3 knees. I think that's my issue.
So the ball, you're landing it too close to your knee, so it's going off like in a different direction. If you go higher, up your thigh.
Right, I'm just coming to look at you because I was a bit far away.
So if you go higher up the thigh rather than there, you've got a better chance of it going straight up in the air.
Okay.
There we go. Oh, see? That was a knee. Oh, that was it. See, 3. We got 3 out of that.
I've been doing what's he called? Joe Wick's PE every morning. I can barely walk up the stairs at the minute. I'm so stiff.
I did it earlier, and it was, and I'm sore.
It's so much more intense than I thought it would be. I thought, PE class, that'll be easy. No, it's not.
Oh yeah.
It's great though. We're really enjoying it. We've been doing it every morning. Right, I'm gonna do it 5.
Oh. You haven't destroyed another ornament, have you?
It was just it's a vase of flowers, but it didn't fall over. It's fine. I should have probably taken it out of the room before I started doing this.
Well. You're getting closer on the knees. Oh.
Oh, I can't do it anymore. I think my blood sugar's going low. I do really.
It's your timing now. You've got in your.
All right. I can't do it anymore. I'm having a break before I have a meltdown.
Timing. Your legs already up as you're dropping it, so there's no momentum.
Oh.
So like when you drop it, you've got to be able to ping it back up. So you've got to get the timing of your leg rising to get it to go back up. So they just pop up because you get the timing right.
Would you kind of lean back?
Yeah, I'm leaning back a little bit just so I can get my leg to come high enough. I'm not quite like that.
Right, okay. Oh, I didn't get my leg every time. Oh!
See, you got the timing right. That's why it went. Shoo!
I do it.
Now you've got to get the weight of the ball right now because it's light, so it's going because you're doing your knee quite quick. It's making the ball go shoo, flying in the air. So it's a bit softer, but timing. There you go. That was. There it is. See, we're getting nearly there.
The knees are getting better, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe you can get to 5 on your knees. Or you can try and go with your feet. It's up to you.
I find the knees easier, I think. Oh, I'm getting it wrong now. No, I've got the timing wrong. Oh, there we go. Oh! I think I need a break because I'm not doing very well. Right, hang on. We've got some messages here.
Have we? What are they saying?
Roddy said I've got potential to play for, and then it's just a black flag. Is that no one?
I don't know. Maybe Maybe it's a black flag because it's sometimes the national flags come up. Maybe he's put Scotland. Maybe he means Scotland. Ask him.
Roddy, what is that a joke? The black flag, or does it mean something? Also, you got a question from Roddy earlier. Does modern technology like Dexcom help you play?
Yeah, massively.
Must do,
yeah, huge. It made a huge difference. I think I would say that Dexcom has been the major reason that in the last 18 months, I've probably played the best I've ever played. In that time,
is it Scotland the flag?
Yeah, I thought it'd be that, but yeah, I think
thanks, Roddy. I like it.
Made you're gonna play for Scotland, Jade.
Gonna play for Scotland.
But Dexcom's made the biggest difference by far. I think I've had 8 caps for futsal in the last year. I don't think they would have been possible. So 8 international appearances in the last year for Wales, and without Dexcom, I don't think I'd have got those levels. Definitely not. It's tough without it. Really tough. So, and that was the previous 15 years or so without it. And having it now just makes life that much easier. You can do things that you couldn't do before. You learn things you didn't know before. So it all helps when it comes to a match situation. I'm sure you find the same though, Jade, with when you're doing shows, how much easier it is to manage shows.
When I started with pricks, I didn't have anything. I was finger pricking. Then I got another device that you didn't have to finger prick. I don't know whether I'm like, are we allowed to talk about like other devices? I don't know. Let's
be safe and say no.
And then I got Dexcom. I'm allowed to talk about that. And Dexcom, Dexcom just is being a life-changing kind of piece of equipment.
Yeah, it's game changer.
Massive game changer. It makes life, like, when I'm on tour, so much easier because I can really keep a close eye. Because it's so funny, like, when I get to a theatre and we have to unload the set out the van, that's when I need to see. That's why I'm really thankful for my Omnipod as well, because then what I do is I decrease my background insulin when we're unloading the van and getting into the venue. Yeah. When I do the show, I have to increase my background insulin because the adrenaline makes my blood sugar go higher. But with Dexcom, I can keep a really close eye on all of that, whereas I couldn't before. It was kind of just like guessing and constant finger pricking. So
I want this to go dark now because it's like injecting in the dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like my current situation, being in the dark. Look at where there's no light. It's like playing around in the dark. Literally.
Nick Carnes just commented, he's just commented, Libra, I can say it. I just don't know if I can. Dawn's just called Nick a rascal as well. I quite like that. Starpad, I found when I got a badly bruised leg, my blood sugars can go up. Is that normal? Obviously, we're not medical professionals. And what's the main advice you'd have going back into football since diagnosis 6 years ago? Thank you.
Main advice would be preparation. So have the right, so having hypo treatments always around because it is going to be a challenge. Look at routines. The key thing I always think is trying to space out so there's no bolus reacting while you're going out to do exercise. So I always try and eat, like, say, for example, if I was going to go play football tomorrow, and it was 4 o'clock kickoff, I would make sure my lunch was done by 12, 1 o'clock to try and get rid of the bolus for that meal before I played. Now I'm on injections, so it's slightly easier to do that than I think it might be for pumps because they change. Obviously, you have the background and the basal and stuff and the basal rates to play with, but I try and have a routine. I try and have as many tools, I suppose, in terms of having my insulin readily available in case I need to make adjustments, having glucose stuff available, and also what was the other thing that I wanted to say? Testing as much as possible. So even if that's finger prick testing or it's CGM, I used to test around football matches about 5 or 6 times within 3 hours when I was finger prick testing. So I'd test as soon as I got there, when I was going out to warm up, half time, end of the game, and a couple of hours later. But obviously with CGM now, I can just press the button and it's doing it constantly. But testing as much as you can, because then you get to learn the differences in what's happening. You can pick up a pattern.
I'm just checking my blood sugar. I
don't know where I put mine. Mine's in the house still.
I'm having issues. My blood sugar's been terrible today. I've had loads of lows.
Shall I go back inside now because it's cold out here? Or shall I...
You go back inside.
Yeah.
So we've got some other things here. So, Nick wants me to practice for a week with my keepy uppies, and then show them how I've progressed on a later live show. Perhaps learn a new skill each week. Well, the plan is, Nick, I'm gonna do this weekly, but it won't be this every week. It will be another type 1. And they're going to teach me something new every week. So it might be that I get a type 1 makeup artist one week. Or Debbie. Oh, we know a type 1 hairdresser. Or like something else, and they can teach me a new skill each week. But I will keep practicing. And if I get good at it, I mean, I'm going to try and do 5 before the end of this.
I reckon there's an end of season keepy uppy challenge for you, Jade. When you finish this prick me up season, there's a Brighty comes back on. What score have you got? Or get us all on to do different bits.
That sounds like a good idea. So I let me just see what people are saying because I don't want to ignore them. Chris, what's the most difficult things you've had to deal with living with type 1 diabetes and your football career, buddy?
That's
from Roddy.
I would say, I think probably stigma. I think how you feel in sport is the biggest challenge. I actually think the management side of it, once you get your head around what you need to do in terms of how your routine works, what glucose stuff you've got available, reacting to different situations, learning what your blood glucose levels do when you play. Yeah, that's tough. Like that, you're not gonna, and it changes over time. But once you find routine and you get quite comfortable and confident in that, that becomes quite easy. I think the biggest challenge is that then you've got attitudes towards diabetes because sport's so elitist, and basically you can't have a chink in your armor in sport, because if you do, you're seen as weaker or not as good. I think that's the biggest challenge. And certainly, like for me, getting into the national futsal team, I didn't even tell the national manager that I had diabetes until he picked me. So that tells you about how you feel within a sporting environment, that actually you don't feel, I don't know, maybe when you're pushing for performance, you don't feel like you can really share what it's like to live with diabetes properly. And if I ask one of the boys, I don't know if you feel the same in your world, Jade, or not, but
yeah, I can totally relate to that, because I can't really hide it now because of the show.
Yeah.
Everyone knows. But beforehand, if I got like a TV job, I wouldn't tell them that I was diabetic until I had the contract and the medical
exactly
forms.
the same.
And then I put it on the medical forms, and then they can't do anything
exactly.
about it. Which is
same thing.
Now it's kind of a talking point if I go to, not that I really audition much anymore, but it's kind of a talking point, and I tend to have to tell them now. But yeah, I used to keep it quiet. Roddy's asking, he'd like to know my view on the current offside rule and VAR. Is VAR the video analysis thing?
Yeah, video assistant referee. So VAR. Yeah.
My opinion on it, I think that's class. Is that not class? Do people not like that? I think it's good, is it not? Because then you can tell, like, look at your face. Is it not good?
It's a nightmare, Jade.
Is it? Why?
An actual nightmare. Because they're calling goals off for like that much being offside. And it's ruining the game, because essentially, this is my opinion before I go any further on it, but these goals have been ruled off like this. People are going off celebrating, and it could be a last minute goal, and it adds to the magic of the football match, somebody winning a game, and then they chalk it off for offside, being like,
oh, that's rubbish.
Like that. It is rubbish, yeah. That's what's killing the game. So that's why.
I think he's trying to quiz me on what the offside rule is. And
yeah, can you tell him the offside rule? I'm not going to.
Hang on, I know this. So when the person receives the ball, do they need two defenders between them and the goal?
Oh, it's not. Oh, it's close.
Oh, sugar. What is it? How wrong am I?
Yeah. No, you're really close. It's one defender and the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, so
you can't be. You can't be. So the goalkeeper stays in the goal, but you can't be beyond the last defender. If an attacker is playing the ball and the defender's marking you, if that makes sense. So if there's two attackers and you're beyond their line of defence, and the ball comes to you and there's no other defenders marking you, then you're offside.
Right. Okay. Well, I kind of got that right.
I'm sure that made lots of sense.
Have I impressed you, Roddy? I think I kind of got that right. I've not impressed you with... Oh, Nick's got an opinion on VAR. Oh, God, he's asking me again. He's asking me these questions he sent earlier, and I was thinking, oh, no, he's actually asking me them. He wants to know who was the first type 1 diabetic to recently score a goal living with type 1 diabetes in an amazing goal in the World Cup. Question for Jay.
Come on.
Are we talking, football, are we?
Yeah, it's football.
So we're not talking about Henry played in rugby.
The first type 1 to ever score at the World Cup.
I don't know. Who is it, Chris?
He played for Spain.
I don't know.
No. Nacho Fernandez.
Oh, what a class name, Nacho. Oh, I love that name. Oh, what did you have for your tea tonight?
For my dinner?
Yeah.
I had, what did I have? Like chickpeas, carrots, falafel, broccoli, peas.
Are you vegan?
Oh yeah, I've eaten, yeah.
Oh.
Why, you haven't eaten yet? I'm going low, to be fair.
I've eaten.
I might be talking rubbish soon.
The only reason I asked you was because I want to tell you about my tea, because it was amazing. 4.9, get that.
What was your dinner like then?
I've got a 10 Sarah, which isn't good. So I had Toad in the Hole, but if you don't like me, you know, oh, look, I'm actually doing good for once. 5.6.
Wow, lovely. Bang on that.
For once. I had Toad in the Hole. James made Toad in the Hole. We had homemade Toad in the Hole with cauliflower and broccoli cheese and mashed potatoes and gravy, and it was lush. I know, I really enjoyed it. Anyway, sorry, I went completely off topic there. Oh, Matt Jack, what are you saying? Oh my God, Ronnie's called me a cheat. He said, you've Googled this, Jade, you cheat. I have not Googled it. I have not. Honestly. My husband is a Newcastle season ticket holder and talks about football all the time. So I have heard the offside rule explained before. I definitely didn't Google it, I promise you. So Matt says, Jade and Chris, who were your type 1 heroes growing up? For me, was a type 1 superstar.
That's a great question.
I don't
so
think
what did
I had one.
You didn't have one?
I didn't know anyone.
Okay.
Who would I have known?
I don't know.
Many years ago. Well, no, I'm 34. I really can't think of anyone. Oh, sorry, that's a really rubbish answer for you, Matt. But I really can't think of it.
What was Matt's? Did Matt say Gary Mabbott?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gary Mabbott and Sir Steve Redgrave were mine.
You see, now I'm confused about this. Steve is not type 1, type 2, isn't he?
No, he's. I don't want to. I don't really know.
He's definitely type 2. My mum told me he was type 1. I remember telling me that. Told me he was diabetic, and I think was assumed because he was so fit and healthy. I'm going to Google it right now. She told me, but I've Googled it more recently, and I'm sure he's type 2.
I think it's type 2 needing injections. I think
you're right. Let's see. Does anyone know? Yeah, type 2. Type 2. See? It's not it's not like people stereotypically think it's people who are overweight and have a bad diet. Steve Redgrave, fit, healthy guy, he's got type 2.
5 Olympic gold medals.
Yes. No, I'm trying to think of any really famous, well-known people that were type 1 when I was growing up, and I don't think I knew anyone.
I'm trying to think if there's any that stuck in my head.
Oh, sorry, I just need to I'm so stiff at the moment. No, but I tell you what though, so I do love, not growing up though, because it's only in the last few years, I do have a love for James Norton, and I'm not going to deny it. When I first saw him in Happy Valley, didn't know he was type 1 diabetic. When he was playing the baddie, I remember turning to James, my husband, and saying, I said, oh, he could kidnap me any day. Because like I was like, he's so hot. And then I found out he's type 1 diabetic, and I was like, that just made him even hotter. And he is just such a lovely, lovely guy, isn't he? He's like the nicest guy. Yeah. Yeah, I admire him. Maybe not. I admired him before I realised he was type 1 diabetic, though, so maybe it doesn't count. Hal Berry's not type 1 either, is she? She's type 2.
Is she not? Is she type 2?
I'm going to Google it. I'm Googling it, Roddy. What would we do without Google? I'm sure she's type 2.
I thought she was type 1, but I might be wrong.
No, I might be wrong. Hal Berry. Oh no, she's type 1.
Yeah, I thought so.
Oh no, she's not.
Oh, she's not.
Here's the story.
Okay.
So Berry was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 22 after she became ill and slipped into a week-long coma. But I haven't got the whole article open, which isn't great. It goes on to say doctors say that Berry likely had type 2 diabetes all along because there's no way you can avoid insulin if you have type 1. So she's not on insulin, so she's not type 1.
No, fair point.
But they did originally diagnose her with type 1.
Interesting.
Probably given her age and like physique and stuff.
Yeah.
So, right. I feel like I've completely forgotten about doing my keepy uppies. Dawn says, when I was a primary school teacher, I got my grassroots coaching qualification from the IFA. Oh, I've just remembered something I wanted to go back on, but I'll go back to it. From the IFA, I was the only woman and the only person there with type 1D. Are there any T1D women playing football now? They are, aren't they? You know some.
I do know a few. We've just set up.
Your coach?
No, the coach wasn't. She was very good coach, but she wasn't diabetic.
Oh, I thought
actually we've just started our own sort of WhatsApp group for women. We're trying to create a women's team, yeah. So Katie McLean, who we did a video with and a little story. She did a story for us. She's playing for Watford under 23s women's team, and in goal, hoping to make the first team not too long away. So, and then there's a few other girls as well, so that are in this group that we've created. So if anyone wants to get involved in it, please feel free to get in contact, because we're trying desperately to do it. Obviously, things at the moment aren't going to happen, but in a few months' time, definitely looking to try and expand that.
Which is what reminds me of what I want to recap on. We had a comment earlier from Starpad, who was saying they used to play football, and he was asking you for advice on how to get back into it, and you gave him loads of advice. But can he get in touch with you? Are you guys always looking for new people?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'll just throwing the advice out there.
At gmail.com.
Yes, send us an email or use the social media at the moment, which is the Diabetes Football Community on Facebook, the Diabetes Football Community on Instagram, and TDFC Diabetes on Twitter. So yeah, feel free. There's lots of us doing stuff at the moment, especially with the way that the world is in terms of we're all being cooped up. So we're all looking at messages. We're doing a lot of online stuff. We've done the toilet roll keepy uppy challenge, which Jade is going to do. But yeah, we're doing some funny stuff, trying to engage people, have a laugh, but also at the same time, we've got a big WhatsApp group, and we're providing, everybody's chipping in with like advice and stuff going on, helping each other out, which is great.
So I was supposed to be on tour right now. In fact, right now I should have been on stage in Stockton, just up down the road from me. And I should have been heading to Mansfield tomorrow and Leicester Friday. I think I've got it right. But obviously my tour has been cancelled, and my May tour has also been cancelled. Postponed. I should say, most of it seems to be getting rebooked for the autumn. Yeah. So right now I'm like at home, obviously like everyone else, without much to do. But I have, because I had 2 tours booked, I'd ordered a load of Pricks products stock. So I'd like to encourage anyone watching, anyone tuned into us, to go onto Etsy. Look, this is one of my products. Insulin Junkie t-shirts,
yes.
Sweaters, there's other t-shirts, there's little bags of Pricks, big bag of Pricks, and is 10% off at the moment with discount code Prick Me Up. Go across, go and buy some stuff from me, because right now I can't really do much else other than mess around online and
same as me. Trying to keep you up is the same as me.
Just even do some more. Right, it's 8:45, and I don't want to like encroach on GB doc tweet chat time, but let's see if I can get 5. Keep you up.
What you got? I'll sit it out.
I'm getting really old because whenever I stand up, everything just aches, and it takes a bit of stretching to get back to normal. Right.
I like the fact you're in sports gear.
Oh, I got 3.
Oh! Good knees, though.
Oh, no, got my knee up too soon then.
First time round was quality. If they hadn't gone off in towards the ornaments, you'd have been bang on.
Right. Oh, I put too much pressure on myself now. Oh! Oh no, I see you laugh. Right. Come on, Jade. Oh, too close to me. No, lifting my leg up too soon. Oh!
That one's gone into the street, that one.
What's going on? Alright. Let me try.
Remember what I said earlier? Go higher on the thigh. Higher on the thigh. Time in.
And don't lift my leg up too soon.
That was not bad.
Just not destined to do this, I don't think. I was always good at basketball, though. I was good at basketball.
Well, that was not bad. It's where you're dropping it as well. So like your arms are like all the way out here, stretching. Yeah. Why do you bring them in a bit and then drop it over the top of your thigh? You don't need to drop like me, and then drop the ball a bit lower because it's got a long way to go from up there. You're dropping it, you're pulling it up all the way up here. Drop it. There you go. Look how much more control you had on that. Get the timing right. Yes. Oh.
I'm not good. I'm just not good at it. One last try.
Remember, do everything right. So your arms a bit closer, height right, timing.
There's so much like to remember, isn't there? Oh, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be.
Well, you got to 4. You got to 4, nearly 5. We nearly got you to 5.
Nick's asking, does a softer ball help?
It depends on the bounciness of the ball. So.
I've got an urgent law soon.
Like a smaller ball is probably going to be tougher, I would imagine. And if you have a proper football, it's going to be bouncier. So like a futsal, the one I was kicking around outside just then, it's got reduced bounce, so it's quite hard, like and heavy. But actually, it's probably slightly easier to control than a football because there's less bounce in it.
So the answer is yes, a softer ball does help.
The
Is that what
No.
you're saying?
No.
No, the answer's no. Right, okay, that's the answer, no. Sorry, Chris.
That's all right.
You went all around the bloody house then.
Yeah, it would go around the houses, to be fair.
Right, Roddy's asking me another question. He's just trying like, Roddy, you're a bugger. You have to name.
That's a quote.
Type 1 diabetics. Are you sober, Roddy? It says, name type 1 diabetics living with type 1 diabetes. How many type 1 diabetics are living with type 1 diabetes?
There's 400,000, Jade. So can you name all 400,000 please in the UK?
Question. Living with type 1 diabetes, playing elite football.
Oh.
Don't know. Chris, tell me.
What you got?
Tell me the answer. I don't have any.
Oh. I can name a few. Jordan Morris in the United States, plays for the USA and Seattle Sounders.
Okay.
Then Nacho, who we've already mentioned, Nacho Fernandez, plays for Real Madrid and Spain.
Yes, Nacho.
Then we've
forget him. I won't forget him now because all I can think of is that song Macho Man, but Nacho Man. Nacho Man. Yeah, that's
you need to do that as a parody tune and then send it to him on Twitter.
Yeah, I do. I haven't had so many parodies recently because I was on tour and then I've been stuck with the kids running around.
It's the Prick Me Up parody now. Who else is there? Andy Rose plays for they got Vancouver Whitecaps. So that's professional in the MLS, so America. Then we've got Ben Coker, who's playing in the league in League 2 for Cambridge at the moment. Jack Muldoon's playing professionally.
Type 1 actors.
There you go then. Oh, I've got the footballers. I mean, I've named a few there. My mate Stanners played 15 years as a pro footballer. Craig Stanley. Jack Muldoon's playing in the conference. Jack Iredale's playing for Carlisle. There's a Scott Allen's playing for, I think, is it Hibernian? He's playing for Hibernian in Scotland. So yeah, there's quite a few. There's probably more than that. I've just named that are on the top of my head. What actors you got then, Jade? Who do you know?
That's good. You know a lot.
I have to, don't you think?
So there's me, obviously, Jade Byrne.
Yes.
Kate Bracken. She's a friend of mine, actually. Kate, she's been quite a lot of things like Being Human and I can't think right now, my brain's not working, but she's been in loads. She's younger than me. We met though on set of Inspector George Gently. We were playing best friends we had guest lead roles in it, so we were filming for 3 weeks, and on the first day that we met on set, I brought a bag in the car. We were on location, so there was this like minibus that was taking us to the location, and I brought a bag with me. And Kate turned to me and she said, "Oh, have you brought a bag?" I said, "Oh yeah, I have to though because I'm diabetic. Because I've got my Lucozade, I've got my blood test, and I've got this." And she went, "Oh!" She's like, "I'm diabetic too," and she pulled a pack of dextrose out of her bra. And I was like, "Yay!" So that's all we talked about for 3 weeks. Yeah, Kate Bracken. There's Johnny Labby. I'm naming the ones that everyone knows. James Norton.
Johnny's a legend, to be fair.
Johnny's lovely, isn't he? He's so
We got him to play football. Have you seen him play football?
No.
Oh, go on his YouTube, Know Your Type. He came to our diabetes team.
You know, he filmed me a year ago for that, and it's not been edited yet. He messaged me recently that I need to get on and edit that. I was like, yeah, you do.
But yeah, it's on there.
He filmed me at TAD. He wasn't at TAD. He came the night before and he filmed my dress rehearsal. He watched my dress rehearsal and then we did an interview afterwards.
Okay.
But he's lovely.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Guys, if you're like tuned in and still watching now, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Pricks Official. I'll try and keep everyone entertained as best I can in this not very nice time. And also go onto Etsy and search Pricks products and buy some of my stock, because like I'm not really earning any money right now and I could do with some. So and I've got a 10% off code. It's a Prick Me Up sale. The code is Prick Me Up for 10% off everything. Chris, I think it's time for us to go. Thank you.
It is.
So
No, it's been a pleasure.
And we'll do more stuff soon. I'm sure we will, because we need to entertain each other.
Absolutely.
And the
And if
nation needs us.
The nation needs us. I don't know.
They do.
Oh, they do. Oh, okay, they do. All right, fair enough.
Right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you again. I'll see you again soon. Probably, I think this time next week. Take care. Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome. Bye. See you,
Bye.
everyone.